Okay, we're back. Sorry about the disconnect and all that sort of thing, viewers, with the app freaking out. This thing that I have for live streaming sometimes has this weird thing where it like disconnects the host or whatever, and then can't let them join back, and that's exactly what happened. But we have David back. Thank you so much for your patience, David, and thank you all so much for all the viewers who have joined so far. I told you all on the last stream that we just had a few seconds ago, give us about 50 seconds or so, and that's exactly what happened. So we'll let everybody rejoin. Basically think that nothing ever happened. So anyway, let's get back into what we were talking about. I don't remember. I think, David, you were speaking at the time that we had the disconnect. But I don't remember exactly what you were talking about. I think.
Shank Racing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. I guess we'll kick off from there. Shank Racing, Wayne Taylor Racing.
Yeah. I was just saying that Shank Racing. I mean, ever since they left being the defending champions for 2 years in a row, I think, or was
Yep.
it 3 years even?
I think 2 years. Yeah.
Um, so and with a strong driver lineup as well. I mean, Tom Blomqvist and that guy is just a menace. I'm really looking forward to see how competitive it will be because last time around at Daytona, Acura was not that fast.
True.
So I'm interested, really interested. Also, Wayne Taylor Racing, switching it up to Cadillac. Cadillac, of course, having new teams for their cars. So both in IMSA and also WEC. So hopefully they'll get some more wins. I know in WEC they have really had a tough time. But in IMSA they have always been fast. And last year it was of course a great battle between Cadillac and Porsche
Right.
around this track. So hope to see that again. Or when we get to my predictions, I actually don't hope that will be that great. But yeah, nice new livery for the car as well, and just it's just awesome to see these. I mean, Myasek Racing back, but also Wayne Taylor Racing trying something new with Cadillac in that car. So I'm looking forward to it. I feel like it's a good step for the championship as well. So
Oh yeah.
um, so yeah, I think it's going to be great. I think Wayne Taylor Racing has to learn a lot about the new car. Maya Shank Racing already know how the Acura works, so it's definitely a learning curve for Wayne Taylor. But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good team eventually.
I think the good news is that Wayne Taylor Racing are coming back to the Cadillac family. They've been involved with them before, of course, in the DPI era. David, like you mentioned, of course, this is a brand new car for them. The V Series R is something they've never run before. But they are familiar with Cadillac. Of course, they were the most successful team, arguably at least, when it comes to them running the DPI entries. Of course, at Daytona, they won 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. And they were so competitive. They really were. And I think they won in 2017, 2019, and 2020, if I'm not mistaken, here at Daytona with Cadillac. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and we'll wait till the predictions to see how that goes. And they are coming, viewers, by the way. We're just getting into kind of all this little details about Daytona. Also, I want to point out something real quickly. Um, we just had to restart the live stream because of tech issues, and already we have 50 viewers. That just proves how connected this community is and how just like amazing you all are. I mean, we had to end the stream, and then we're already back up to half the number we were within the first 2 minutes or so. So yeah, and that number will continue to grow. Anywho, though, we've talked about a lot of the entries here. We talked a lot about the GTP entries. LMP2 sees a newcomer in the form of Pratt Miller Motorsports, who are back in prototype racing for the first time since 2016 when they ran the Corvette Daytona prototypes, or at least they helped with the engineering of that. And I want to mention as well that in GTD Pro, there's a lot of new faces as well. We have Get Speed, who are in GTD Pro for the first time with Mercedes. They are more familiar when it comes to like the 24 hours of Spa and stuff like that. GTD sees some newcomers as well. You have DXDT Racing with their new Corvette. Vandesto Racing, who are in the Aston Martin car or have an Aston Martin car. They are coming from the Michelin Pilot Challenge where they were running an Aston Martin. But yeah, so a lot of newcomers, but also a lot of entries that we won't be seeing as well. As we covered in the collaboration video with Off in the S's, there's a lot of missing entries from this grid, and I think one of them that I just want to point out here real quickly, and you can check out all the missing entries in that video, by the way. But one entry that I want to point out here is the Aston Martin Valkyrie. David, that car is not on the grid this year. It will be joining at a later time, though. So we won't be seeing a Le Mans hypercar at Daytona this time around. Hopefully in 2026 we'll see it, like with the Lamborghini SC63. But when will that car make its debut?
I mean, the news I got from looking around is that it's actually going to come around Sebring, the 12 hours of Sebring. But the official debut of that car is going to be at Qatar,
Right.
in the WEC here in a month's time. So yeah, but it makes sense. I mean, they haven't even announced all the drivers yet, and that car is so new. They have to get going, and we saw this also. I think it was Lamborghini. They didn't run at Daytona for their first year, so it's not unusual. It's just sad because we love the sound of that car, and so yeah, and of course another team around the track would be great, but it makes sense from Aston Martin's viewpoint and the Heart of Racing team. So yeah, it's not a surprise. It's just sad to see, but it will come in a month's time. We'll see the official debut of that car, and in IMSA terms, it's going to be at Sebring.
Indeed, yeah, and we just got a comment from Garrett who mentioned that they said going to the Rolex 24 and it's going to be my first endurance race ever. Congratulations! Hope you had a lot of hope you're going to have a lot of fun. They did say they're disappointed about the Aston Martin though, that it's not going to be there, and I think a lot of people are. You know, I mean, I would have loved to see a Le Mans hypercar out on track at Daytona. This car is breaking records within IMSA and WEC. I'll just point them out here, even though we're talking about Daytona in this episode. This is important. The Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR LMH is going to be the first car from a British constructor, or at least from a British manufacturer. It's also going to be the first Le Mans hypercar in IMSA. All the other cars have been LMDH entries that have joined so far. It's the first brand, like fully car constructor, that's making cars for the road that doesn't have a hybrid component in. So that's something interesting as well. It's also the first car the first car that features a V12 engine, which is very, very interesting. Every car that has entered into the hypercar or GTP categories has been either a V6 or a V8. So really excited to see the Aston Martin Valkyrie on track when it hits the IMSA grid in Sebring, and like David pointed out, it will be coming in Qatar for the WEC season opener, which we will definitely be going into. But yeah, so we've covered the entries for Daytona. Let's talk about this event itself, the Rolex 24 at Daytona. It's called the 24 Hours of Daytona, but for sponsorship reasons, it's called the Rolex 24. If you also want to check out all the details when it comes to the Rolex 24, I just put out a video today which covers basically a full explanation of this event. I want to try and do this for every major endurance race, of a complete explanation, and I wanted to make sure that we got a Rolex 24 one. But David, when it comes to the Rolex 24, are there a lot of manufacturers that have won this?
Oh man.
I know I just put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's a legendary historic race, so of course there is. I can't remember the number, but of course last year was Porsche for the first time in a long while. But yeah, the last few years it's been Cadillac and Acura, pretty much dominating this track. So in newer times, not that many. But yeah, I'm sure it's gonna change through the next few years. Of course, legendary track. It wasn't with the American Sports Car Championship before like the merger of the to bring IMSA. So it lost out on a lot of great cars through that, but yeah, a lot of different winners, and I can see the comments also going crazy about it. So, so yeah. But for the last few years, it's been pretty much Cadillac and Acura, and the first change of that with Porsche last year, and that's great to see that different manufacturers with the hypercar and GTP regulation system is working.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you pointed out we have a lot of manufacturers that have been successful here in the past. You know, you mentioned Acura, Cadillac, Porsche. And I mean, during that time when the Daytona 24-hour was in the Rolex, the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Championship, that was during a time when Riley was really dominating with their Mark 11 Daytona prototype. But before that, we've had many other brands. You know, you have Ford, Ferrari. I think there was Nissan, Jaguar, who have all won here at Daytona. So, yeah, a lot to kind of unpack in terms of events. I believe the first ever Rolex 24 Daytona was back in 1966, won by I believe Lloyd Ruby and Ken Miles. And the Ford GT40 from Shelby American Incorporated, and that was, of course, the start of the Ford versus Ferrari battle in 1966. That really kind of was it was the start of what was to come for Le Mans. It was kind of foreshadowing what Ford's success as they beat Ferrari. I mean, of course, in 1966. There was a lot of focus over Le Mans. The story nowadays is really focused around Le Mans, but there was other endurance races where Ford was involved and Ferrari was involved, where they were battling out on track. I believe the Rolex 24 was one of those, or at least the 24 Hours of Daytona when it was called back then. But yeah, a lot of history with this event. We're heading into the 63rd edition in 2025, so that's going to be really exciting. And a lot of manufacturers on the grid this year as well. I'm trying to think if there was any more points that we wanted to point out in terms of details about the event. David, did you have anything in mind?
No, because as much as it's a new year, I mean, many of the cars that we're going to see and manufacturers that we're going to see are the same. So,
right.
So yeah, not that much have changed since last year. I just want to comment on what you said about that first win for Ford for GT. It's also in the movie. If you haven't seen the movie about the rivalry between Ford and Ferrari, they actually do something about the Daytona 24. So great watch if you haven't seen that. It's really really good. But no, not that much changed this year. Of course, new teams, but the cars are pretty much the same.
Yeah, and I just want to point out as well, great movie, Ford versus Ferrari. I think it stars Matt Damon and Christian Bell. And I think that Christian Bale, sorry. But both actors are very good at their respective roles, and there's a lot of other actors in there that have performed really, really strong. I'm not trying to promote the movie or anything like that. Just trying to say that's a good one, and it's really accurate it's got a lot of accurate points from real life. Anywho, though, let's talk about, I guess, our predictions. That's kind of where we want to move into this, because we've had the screen on the right here for quite some time, but let me just say that that's going to get replaced in just a moment. IMSA is back. Yes, it is. But that doesn't mean that we need to put it up on screen for forever. So there's 4 classes: GTD, GTD Pro, LMP2, and GTP. Myself and David are now going to be going through our top 3 predictions for the in-class victory for each category. While we are doing this, please let us know who you think will take the victory or the top 3 podium spots in each class down in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. We'll be covering, of course, ours, but in the meantime, we're also going to be reading comments and seeing what everyone else thinks. This is something that is good to interact with. We want to interact with you. Of course, I know that when I'm watching a live stream from a content creator or anything, what always kind of makes my day is whenever I'm commenting something, it's nice when the person that's doing the live stream or whoever is kind of mentions that and says like, hey, just to know that you're there, it makes me feel kind of relevant to the stream, makes me part of it. And that's kind of the same way I want to treat everybody else that's joining here, the way I would want to be treated in a live stream. So I want to make sure that we are interacting with you and you're with us, because it's not this live stream and future live streams and past live streams are not just about myself and David. They're all about you. They are all about you. And that's how this channel is as well. We want to make sure that it is all like integrated between the fans and the content creators. It's one big community. That's how I see it. And as long as I can make people happy, that's all I care about. That's honestly what I feel. I'm not here for the money. I'm not here for anything like that. I'm here to provide content and do the best I can. Anywho, though, let's get into our predictions. We're going to be going into GTD first, and I'll let David start with his first, and then I'll go into mine. By the way, as with other predictions, I know them because I had to put it out on screen, but David is seeing my predictions for the very first time. I wish I could be surprised, but of course I have to put it out on screen so you all can see. I have no other choice. But anyway, I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to put up the predictions for GTD. We're going to start off with David's, then we're going to move into mine. And again, make sure to let us know your predictions down in the comments below. So, David, take it away.
I just want to let people know as well, I have no Danish bias at all. But for GTD, in third place, I put Iron Dames. I think they're going to have a great race now they're back in Porsche. I think they're going to be really competitive. I put Windward Racing in that Mercedes. They were really, really good last year. I hope to see them doing great as well this year. Inception Racing in first place in their Ferrari. I believe last time they ran a McLaren, if I'm not mistaken. So in that new Ferrari, I think they're going to have a great race. They have shown great pace as well. I feel like it's going to be a Porsche is going to be the dominant car in the GTD and GTD Pro. But it's 24 hours, so there's room for surprises, I guess. But yeah, those are my predictions. And again, no Danish bias at all.
Well, it would be great to see Inception Racing on top, especially this is their first time with a Ferrari at Daytona. 2 teams are heading into this event on your list here that with new cars, Iron Dames and Inception Racing. The other car you mentioned, Windward Racing, of course, winning the event last time out. So you predicted they're going to be competitive once again.
Yeah. I mean, they were last time, so
true,
and the cars are pretty much the same. So
with a spicy new livery as well.
Yeah. Of course, and let's not forget about those liveries. There's loads of new ones on the grid. So great.
That's true. Well, and also speaking of liveries, just real quickly, viewers, you'll notice that Inception Racing now has a yellow Ferrari instead of a red one, and that's going to be interesting as well. There's another yellow Ferrari on the grid as well. That's the Dragon Speed number 81 car in GTD Pro. So don't be too confused. I think there's actually a slight difference. This one's more of a lighter yellow. The Dragon Speed is more closer to like a Ferrari yellow, more kind of closer to like the number 83 AF Corsa WEC car, or the it's not Corvette yellow, but it's closer. Anywho, though, I'll go ahead and reveal my GTD predictions for the top 3. So for me, I've predicted the number 12 Vassar Sullivan Lexus to win the event in class. I think that they have a very strong car. I think that they were close to winning last time out, and I think it's time for redemption for the Vassar Sullivan team. P2, I've gone for the number 21 Ferrari from AF Corsa. And third, I've gone with a Porsche as well, but it's not the Iron Dames. It's the Wright Motorsports 120 Porsche. I think Lexus is going to have another strong race. Last year, they had a really good, really strong race, but they had so much misfortunes. The number 14 car was hit with Mike Conway behind the wheel at the time, I think, by one of the LMP2 entries. It might have been the high class, but I can't remember exactly. And then that car was kind of taken out of contention for GTD Pro. It was leading at the time. The number 12 car was leading in GTD towards the end of the race, and then it had that fire, and the driver had to get out of the car, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare for Faster Sullivan Lexus, especially considering the fact that they were so competitive, and their car was very quick as well. So we'll see. I agree that with you, David, that Ferrari and Porsche are going to be strong in the GT classes, and that's why I've put AF Corsa in second and Wright Motorsports in third. Anywho, thank you so much to everybody who's also put your predictions down in the comments. GTD, a lot of people are saying Windward first. Turner Motorsports, we have Samuel who mentioned Windward first, Magnus in second, Wright in third. We have another comment coming in saying Turner first, AF Corsa second, and Heart of Racing third. Nice predictions so far. Jackson mentioned that GTD has Iron Dames on top. I would love to see that, of course. Jay mentioned that the 57 Windward car on top. So a lot of people are saying that the Windward Racing car would be on top. I've seen a few comments so far, and I think that's definitely possible considering that Mercedes won last year. David, you predicted them to be on the podium. I could definitely see them being on top as well. So yeah, great to see it. But anywho, that's our GTD predictions. Thank you to everybody who's joined in and posted your predictions for GTD. Seen a lot of folks saying Turner and Windward Racing. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's the beauty of Daytona. You never know. Anywho, though, let's move on to GTD Pro. As I put it out on screen, we're moving on to the professional category of the GT grid. And David, let us know your predictions for the Pro category.
Well, in third place, I have another Porsche. It's Proton Competition, the number 20 car. Again, just copying my own words that Porsche is going to be extremely fast this year in the GTD classes. So yeah. In second place, I have Ford Multimatic. Really putting everything into that basket. Hoping they'll finally have some pace around here. Of course, a lot of misfortune last time. So yeah, but it seems as though they're confident and have a lot more pace this year. So I think it will be a podium place and hopefully the second place for them this year. And in first place, how could I put anybody else than the Rexy AO Racing 77 car? I love that car, and it just has to win. And it fits well with that viewpoint of mine that Porsche is going to be extremely fast. So yeah, those are my predictions for the GTD Pro.
Great predictions, of course. As we know from last year, AO Racing, very quick. They got second, I believe, in the race. Just missed out on first to the number 62 Risi Competizione Ferrari, which of course isn't here this time around, unfortunately. So we will get a new winner of Daytona, the likes we haven't seen in 2024 at least. AO Racing definitely has a shot. I mean, of course, if we look back to last year, they are the favorites. They got pole position with Seb Prio, and then the car got second, was very competitive throughout the race. But speaking of Sebastian Prio, he is in that number 64 Ford, and you predicted that car to be in second. So you never know. Ford are looking confident. As we talked about before this live stream, David, Ford are heading into their second year of competition. And I have to say, they look really good. They look confident. They look strong. Their lineups look strong. Revised driver lineups. I know Harry Tinknell isn't a part of that grid anymore as he's joining Aston Martin with their Valkyrie program. But yeah, definitely looking good. So I like your prediction. It's very good. I wanted to mention before I move on to my predictions, Garrett asked, what is the driver lineup for the Iron Dames and their number 83 Porsche? And that is going to be Michelle Gadding, Sarah Bovey, Karen Gaillard, and I believe Rahel Frey. So that's four drivers for the Iron Dames Porsche. Just want to point that out there because I didn't forget. And I'm already seeing a lot of folks saying their predictions for GTD Pro. You get the memo. Great job. So some people are saying, I've actually seen a few folks saying number 48 BMW from Paul Miller Racing. That's a brand new car, by the way. A car that's never raced in IMSA before. Of course, the number 1 Paul Miller Racing car has, but the 48 hasn't. Some folks are saying Let's see. AO Racing. Ooh, Jaden mentioned Trackhouse for the win. And I guess that ties in with my prediction here because I want to put this out here. For my prediction, I've gone with the Chevrolet win. I've gone with Corvette on top, and I've gone with the number 3 Pratt Miller Corvette for the win. Second place, I've gone for the number 9 Pfaff Lamborghini. And third, I've gone with the Trackhouse by TF Corvette. I think that Corvette are going to have a very strong Rolex 24 at Daytona. The number 3 and 4 have the back of the cars now black, reminiscent to those C5Rs from back in the day. And I think that's just a hint of maybe Corvette returning to some of the success that the C5Rs had. So we'll see. But the number 91 TF Trackhouse entry, I expect is going to be really, really cool. And I think that entry with the driver lineup it has is going to be so strong. The reason why I put Pfaff Lamborghini in second is because of kind of what we saw from the test sessions. The number 9 car was so quick. Andrea Caldarelli on top in the majority of sessions. Lamborghini on top. And I know it's just testing, viewers, and I will get into the testing sessions that we got from the Roar before the 24 in a separate video coming later today, in fact. But that Lamborghini looking pretty good, and I feel that this is going to be a start of a new partnership, a new cool partnership for Pfaff Motorsports. But yeah, so David's predicted AO Racing to win. I've predicted Pratt Miller Motorsports to win. A lot of folks are putting their predictions in for GTD Pro. David, is there any prediction that you saw in the comments that sticks out to you?
I mean, only what you mentioned as well, that BMW on top. I mean, I looked at that Paul Miller car and thought maybe and maybe not. But if we look at least last year, I just thought that Porsche and Mercedes are going to be the fastest cars. But of course, you mentioned Lamborghini. Have been great in testing. I would love to see Corvette doing really, really well, but I feel like that dominance from Porsche last year in endurance racing in general is going to continue into this season. So, but yeah, definitely would love to see a BMW up there. We're going to get to BMW and he'll finish in a different class later. But yeah, also just want to answer the question. Someone asked if CrowdStrike is in an LMP2 still. Yes, they are. Also get to them later on, actually next in LMP2. So yeah, they are still racing in LMP2 also here at Daytona.
And before we move into LMP2, I want to mention 2 things because this is just amazing. First off, thank you so much to Christopher, who's just donated $5. Hope AO Racing Rexy moves up to GTP Porsche someday. Love to see that. I would really love to see that. Imagine a Rexy 963. Just imagine that. I mean, we love that Porsche dinosaur on the GTD Pro entry, but honestly, wouldn't mind a Dinosaur 963. I love to see it in IMSA, and I think AO Racing have the capabilities of doing so as well. So would love to see that.
Question is if they'll put on a different kind of livery. They have the Dragon in LMP2 as well, AO Racing. So maybe something completely different. But yeah, I mean, I love that car, and let's add another gold tooth to that car this weekend. Yeah, just amazing, and would love to see that on a GTP car as well. So, yeah.
And continuing on with that subject real quickly, it's possible. I just thought of this real quickly. Even though we'd love to see a Rexy 963, maybe we'll see a Spike 963 because AO Racing have an LMP2 entry, but they could very well move Spike up into GTP and move their prototype drivers into GTP as well, which is not out of the realm of possibility. I would personally love to see a GTP and GTD Pro AO Racing entry. That would be the best. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Also, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's joined so far. We have 81 live viewers right now, and that viewer number is just continuing up. This is our first live stream. And as I say that, 90 viewers already. The numbers are going up, and I really appreciate the support. David does as well, and it's just amazing considering this is our first live stream back in 2025 after a couple months, and we're already back to doing what we do best, which is sharing with the community and talking about everything. But anyway, let's move on to LMP2. We're going to take a break from the GT categories for now, and we're going to talk about IMSA's secondary prototype class and our predictions. David, why don't you start us off with your top 3 for the P2 category?
Well, in third place, I'm going to put TDS Racing, and second place, as mentioned before, CrowdStrike Racing. And in first place, IMSA Europol. IMSA Europol, of course, doing really well over in WC. Hope they can bring some of that over to IMSA as well. And TDS is just, CrowdStrike was really competitive last year. And TDS has always been competitive in the LMP2 class around IMSA. So it's just a kind of safe prediction in my view to put those cars. And again, no Danish bias at all. There's not. I'll put so many Danish drivers on the podiums, but it is because of the teams doing really well the last few years. And in LMP2, it's always hard to put it down to anything else than the team. Of course, it's pretty much the same car all over the grid, and for last year, CrowdStrike was really doing well, and I just hope to see IMSA Europol doing well as well. I love that team over in WC, so hopefully they can do well in IMSA as well.
Well, they've won Le Mans. Maybe they'll win Daytona as well. I love to see that as well. Of course, that particular entry has never been to IMSA before as well. They were, of course, in collaboration with PR1 Matheson Motorsports last year. Now they have their very own entry in LMP2. So looking forward to see what they do in 2025, and especially at Daytona. I'd love to see your prediction come true, David, because Inter-Europol competition, what a team. What a smaller team, actually, compared to a lot of the other grid. And that was what's so amazing about the team at Le Mans when they won in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. It was this little plucky Polish team that just came in, and it was like not as big as the other bigger teams in the P2 category, and they ended up winning the biggest event of the season, which was just absolutely incredible. Also, just want to point this out because I keep getting blown away by this. I know I keep talking about it, but it's amazing. Over 100 viewers right now live, which is great to see. Thank you so much for your support. It has been absolutely incredible to see everybody. And trust me, I'm working all the way to like 12 p.m. at night to get videos out. We're going to try and put out not one, but maybe 2 videos today, which will be great. Anywho, though, I guess I'll move on to my predictions in LMP2. And while we're doing this, remember, feel free to let us know your predictions in the comments below for the P2 category and in the future, the GTP one as well as we get to that. Anywho, let me move on to mine. This is my prediction for the P2 category. In third, I've gone for the PR1 Matheson Motorsports number 52 entry. I'm a little bit biased just because they are from California. I'm from California, so I'd love to see them do well. But also, I think they have a strong lineup. Ben Keating, of course, a part of that lineup once again. And I think that they have a good chance. The number 11 TDS Racing car I've put in second. And for the win, I've put the number 74 Riley that will be winning Daytona. This car has performed really good in the past. It's got a really strong driver lineup as well. And one of the drivers who's involved in that is Felipe Massa, 11-time Grand Prix winner of Formula One. And also just so happens to be my favorite F1 driver ever, which is a little bit of a shock, I'm sure, to some, but it's a fact. I really do appreciate Felipe Massa, and I think that him coming in and being a part of that lineup is going to help a lot. His experience is going to be really good. Of course, he was in the Riley last year in 2024. But I think in 2025, as he returns, he'll have a good shot. And I think Riley in general has got a really good shot at winning this event. I talked to a Riley representative at a recent event I went to, and they seem confident for their LMP2 adventures. I know that they're looking forward for their 2025 event, and I won't name the representative, but yeah, the number 74 Riley car definitely has got a good chance. Anywho, though, I keep saying anywho. I don't know why I do that, but number 74 Riley is my pick. 43 Inter Europol is David's. Let us know your thoughts on the win. Someone just mentioned that the number 2 United Autosports car will take the win in LMP2. Love to see that. That car is very competitive. Also, got to mention United Autosports because they have 2 cars on the grid. It's possible that they have a good shot at the win as well. I know they've won at Le Mans before. They've won in ELMS. They've won, I believe, in ALMS as well. I can't remember exactly, but United Autosports, definitely a team to watch out for. So, anywho, oh my goodness, I keep saying that word. I'm sorry. The number 43 Inter Europol, David. That's your prediction. Do you seem confident about that? I think you're confident about that prediction.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've been doing really well last few years in LMP2. But I was just going to say, I mean, we mentioned all these teams in LMP2, but the beautiful thing about LMP2 is that it's so close all over the board because there's so little between these teams. I mean, United Autosports have the greatness of being such a huge team with 2 cars, but we've seen before Inter Europol, a really small Polish team, beating these giants in motorsports. So yeah, LMP2 just have that golden thing of being so extremely close because the cars are the same.
Right.
It's all down to the teams, so and setups in the end. So yeah, I think it's going to be close. I'm confident that the podium places in LMP2 is not going to be the same throughout the whole race. It's going to be such a mix-up, and nothing is going to be set in stone before the last corner. But yeah, I hope to see Inter Europol. I think it's going to be a tough time. First time in IMSA and first time at Daytona. So yeah, but yeah, I'm confident in at least second and third place.
Well, we'll definitely see if that comes true. I hope it does. LMP2 definitely is looking very competitive this year. I believe the testing session saw all cars under a second, which is just as you said, David. I mean, this class is so competitive. I definitely agree. Big thank you as well to TMS, who just donated Aston LMH in IMSA with muffler, yes or no? I know we got to get to GTP, but this is a very important question. This has been talked about for quite some time. David, what are your thoughts on this potential possibility? Will the Aston Martin AMR LMH or Valkyrie AMR LMH have a muffler in IMSA? What are your thoughts on that?
I think the announcement, at least from IMSA's side, was that it's not going to run with a muffler. I don't know what it's going to be in WC. But yeah, no muffler. I think it's the statement from IMSA and Aston Martin, at least in IMSA terms. It could be different in WC. I hope it's not with a muffler.
That would be great.
But that would be absolutely great. But yeah, I think it's the statement that it's not going to run with a muffler, and that's just great because we haven't. I think it ran through testing. So to see it without it would be great. Just get that sound all over the place that V12 just needs to run.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree, and I think that it's just time will tell, really. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I kind of hope for no muffler, but we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Anywho, let's get to GTP because this is like the really big category. This is the category that a lot of people have been waiting for. Our predictions, and we want to go into what's gonna be happening in this class because this is for the overall win. Remember, viewers, and that's definitely something to keep in mind. So, GTP. Let's talk about it. David, what are your predictions for the top 3 and the overall win?
Yeah, in third place, I'm gonna put Mahjong Racing. I think it's gonna be unbelievable if they don't finish at least on the podium. I see them honestly being a contender for the win. with their history around this track, and also last time they ran a GTP Acura, they won. So I could really see them doing extremely well. In second place, I'm going to put last time's winners, Porsche, Penske, with the number 7 car. And in first place, BMW, the number 24. I gotta support Kevin Magnussen when I'm Danish. So I'm going to put him up there with that team. Also, they have been the best car throughout testing, at least BMW. And I see them doing extremely well this time around. Of course, a lot of things has been moving around in GTP for the last few races at Daytona here. It always seems like we have something set in stone, and then we have a safety car, and it all goes back and moves around. So yeah, I hope BMW finally will get that win here. They've been close last time, close to a great result, last year, and I think they deserve, with all the pace they've shown so far, I think they deserve a win. I just think they will have to fight off that Porsche Penske, which I mentioned this before. I think Porsche Penske in general throughout endurance racing this year is going to be a force to reckon with, and I think they're going to be title contender for everything. So yeah, BMW to win, but closely followed by Porsche Penske.
I like that prediction a lot. I really do. And I think that it's got a really good chance of happening. I mean, some could say it's bold considering that BMW, you've predicted BMW to win, but honestly, I could see it. I genuinely could see BMW on top here. In the past, they have been competitive at Daytona, in 2024 specifically during the night. And so far from testing, they've been very quick. They've been very, very strong. Honestly, I'm voting for BMW to win this race. I really want them to. That's not really necessarily what my prediction's going to do, but I really want them to, because it would be really cool. You know, Cadillac, Acura, and Porsche have won before. While it'd be cool to see all three get victories, BMW hasn't won. I think the last time they won was 1975, and that was their only victory at Daytona. That was with, I can't remember exactly the car, but that was IMSA's first year, actually, with the Daytona sanctioned event. I think that it's going to be very interesting to see what BMW can do. But yeah, we'll see. So great prediction, David. Really hope it comes through, and we'll see how that goes. Anywho, though, I want to put out my prediction for GTP. This is, I've gone kind of a little bit more realistic, but I've also done a little bit of my typical bold fashion predictions. So here's my prediction. In third place, I've gone for the number 6 Porsche Penske to finish on the podium. In second, I've gone for the number 60 Meyer-Shank Racing Acura, and I think it's going to be a very close battle between those two cars. And the winners for this event, I've gone for the number 10 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac to take victory. Number 4, Cadillac have taken victory with Wayne Taylor Racing on 3 separate occasions. Remember that, 3 separate occasions. And their last win was with the WTR brand. I think Cadillac and Wayne Taylor Racing are going to be guns blazing. It's time for the V Series R to finally take victory. Whelen Engineering almost got the win last time out. Porsche got it, and it was great to see that Porsche got it. But I think that Cadillac, I think they have a strong car heading into this event. We know that they had the fastest car at Daytona last year. That was proven. And I think that car has got a really, really good chance of providing some incredible action.
It's really interesting because just with Cadillac's luck around the place has not been there. I mean, I think both the factory team, Cadillac's factory team cars broke down. I believe so. At least one of them. So yeah, I can't see it happen. I hope to see it happening. Cadillac deserves a win here with all the pace they've shown through the last few years, but I don't see. I just don't see it. But usually we also always have a surprise here around Daytona, so maybe that's the surprise we're going to see. and Porsche being third place. That's interesting as well. I mean, you're coming up with the bold predictions, and I love it, Jonah. It's just perfect. But yeah, and no BMW. Why no BMW?
Um, I put BMW on the podium initially, but I changed it last minute because I feel that it was a toss up between Meyershank Racing and BMW for a podium, and I put Meyershank Racing because I feel that they have such a strong driver lineup. I feel that they have such a strong car heading into this event. We know that they've been competitive. Of course, they're coming back to IMSA, and the last time they were at Daytona, they won, albeit with with the situation that happened, which we won't mention, just to put it lightly. But I think that BMW has a very strong car, but I think it's going to be super close. Like, I feel like it's going to be maybe seconds separating the top 5 cars. And I think BMW could finish around 4th or so. If I had a chance to put them in 3rd, I probably would, because it's going to be so close. I really do feel between those 4 manufacturers, Cadillac, Acura, Porsche, BMW, it could be really any 4 of them. I would love to see Lamborghini up there, but I don't think it's going to be happening this time round. This is their first 24-hour endurance race in IMSA. I would love to see them up there, and who knows, maybe they will, but I think it's going to be a close battle. And BMW, I would love to see get on top, but I don't know. I had to make a prediction somewhere.
Yeah.
And also want to point out, thank you so much to a correction made that said BMW won in 1976 with the BMW 3.0 CSL. I said 1975. Yes, I did. That was a mistake. It was 1976. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So yeah, really great to see. Also, a comment just came in and says WTR isn't in IMSA. I believe that there's a misunderstanding. They are in IMSA. Right now they are competing in the GTP category as Wayne Taylor or Cadillac Wayne Taylor Racing. They are racing 2 Cadillacs, the number 10 and the number 40 cars. I predicted one of them, of course, to win. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So great prediction, David. Love to see it. And I would love to see BMW on top, especially Kevin Magnussen. Imagine that. I know that you're Danish, so that would be really cool if you won. But also, I'm a Kevin Magnussen fan, and he, in Formula One, I think he deserved a little bit more success than what he got. And if he won with BMW at Daytona, that would be a really big statement to show that Kevin is indeed a top driver. And I think he is a top driver. He just needs the results to prove it. And I think that it'd be great. And he's also competing at Le Mans this year, so wouldn't that be cool if BMW won Le Mans with Kevin? I mean, it's not the first time that an F1 driver, a former F1 driver or current, has won Le Mans. Of course, Kevin's most recent teammate, Nico Hülkenberg, won at Le Mans in 2015 with Porsche. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But
the problem with Le Mans is that you have Toyota as well, and
true,
and,
they're very
and
competitive.
Ferrari on top of that. So it's a bit more. There's those 2 giants to beat first, but yeah, I could see it. Also, just Kevin, he of course drove here before with Cadillac. And actually, I think he led for a couple of laps and put the car showed great pace with Cadillac. I think it was Chip Ganassi Racing he raced with there. So
Yes.
so really great to see him back in endurance racing. Um, I've said for many years that I think Kevin would do great in endurance racing, and his chance in Formula One ran out. Back when they moved, Haas moved for Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher first time. So yeah, I'm just happy to see another great Danish racing driver. Of course, we have so many of them now, and also just in GTP we have Frederick Besti and Whelen Engineering also making his debut in IMSA racing. So yeah, a lot of new names and great drivers joining the GTP grid. And I just gotta say also, Jonah, your predictions is looking great. I hope you're not right, but but yeah, they look strong.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, I think that it's definitely possible, but then again, what we have out on screen, David, it could be completely different at Daytona. And to be honest, that's why I love that event. That's why I love the Rolex 24 at Daytona, because it could literally be anybody. Like, we could see an LMP2 car on the podium. And that's what's so amazing, because it's so unpredictable, it's so competitive, and it is one of the most competitive races. I wouldn't say, to me, though, I would say that's the 12 Hours of Sebring's maybe a little bit more competitive than Daytona. It's a little bit more, but I would say Daytona is also a very, very exciting race. So yeah, I cannot wait for this event. And David, I bet you can't wait either. But that's our predictions, viewers. Thank you so much for listening in for our predictions. I'm going to replace that screen with the traditional IMSA is back screen, because that's the truth. IMSA is back. The off season is over. We are back to racing for the start of this incredible championship. The WeatherTech Sports Car Championship kicks off with another year of racing this weekend. It's going to be on January 25th and January 26th. Tomorrow, though, keep an eye on social media and keep an eye on just everything related to IMSA, because IMSA is going to be having their qualifying session separated into 4 different sessions for each individual class. We will know the grid by the end of the day, so definitely keep an eye on that. And I will be covering a qualifying recap as well in a video form. And myself and David are going to be back live streaming this weekend for the start of the Rolex 24 at Daytona. There is a lot to keep in mind, but yeah, it's gonna be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, definitely, Jonah, and I'm looking forward to the next first stream of the year, back with formulajonah. You said IMSA is back. We are also back
Yep.
at formulajonah. So just great to see the support. I mean, at the time we had over 100 viewers, and that's just great to see that you're still following, and newcomers and people we've seen before as well. So just awesome to see you guys back supporting the streams. Yeah, it's just it's what makes it worth doing as well. We put a lot of time and effort into this, so seeing you guys support it this much is just great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I echo your words there, David. It really does mean the world to us to have you all here doing this and keeping this going, because it really, you guys are the fuel for the channel. So really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us in this broadcast. We're going to be pretty much ending here because that was the plan. We have one comment that I want to mention. It says, Jonah, are you planning to attend either Laguna Seca or Long Beach this year? I was planning on attending both. I was going to attend both Laguna Seca and Long Beach in person. However, I don't think I'll be making Long Beach this year over other commitments. I'm going to be going through a move soon, and so I don't want to. That might interrupt my plans for going down to LA. It's also a very long drive. California is a massive state, so it's somewhere that I'd like to go, but it takes many, many hours to get down to LA. I will likely be attending Laguna Seca this year for IMSA. I'll be going there for quite a few events. And yeah, I definitely am planning on going there, which will be very exciting. And if you all are going to be at Laguna Seca, please let me know through Instagram or whatever. Maybe we'll do a greet kind of thing, like a meet and greet, where it's we can say hi or whatever. But anyway, thank you so much to everybody who's joined this broadcast. It has been an absolute pleasure to live stream with you, David, and to cover this Rolex 24 preview and predictions for the upcoming event. We will be back this weekend for another live stream of the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Later today, keep an eye on the channel because I'm coming out with another YouTube video that's going to be covering the testing that happened during IMSA's Roar before the 24. 2 more videos are coming out tomorrow, including the full race preview for the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and many more coming your way after that. Thank you so much, David, for joining us as well. It's been a pleasure to live stream with you, and yeah, I guess we'll be back. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll be back. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you later. Thanks for the support. Have a great day.